Good morning, I'm Neva Reddy-Manu, and this is your morning news fix for Tuesday, 28th of November. In this update, New Zealand's first three-party coalition cabinet meets for the first time today. Ministers from National, ACT and New Zealand First were officially sworn in at Government House yesterday. Christopher Luxon says at today's meeting they'll lay out expectations for new ministers, and in tomorrow's meeting they'll have some items to discuss.
One of the major ones is obviously agreeing to our 100-day plan, and that's really, we want it to be a government plan, taking into consideration the coalition agreements and also National's 100-day plan at the start.
A prominent Pasifika health expert says stubbing out smoke-free laws will worsen healthcare inequities. The new government plans to repeal legislation which aims to reduce smoking prevalence to use the revenue for tax cuts. That includes laws which lower nicotine in cigarettes, reduce retailers and stop the next generation buying cigarettes. College of Public Health Medicine President Sir Colin Tuki-Tonga believes this will cause disproportionate harm.
Māori and Pacifica adults smoke at twice the rate of other New Zealanders. Clearly these are the folk that are going to be most affected.
A last-ditch effort for David Tamahere to prove his innocence. He was convicted for the 1989 murders of Swedish tourists Sven Urban Höglund and Heidi Parkinen and served 20 years in prison, but he's always said he didn't do it. The case is back in the Court of Appeal today after a jailhouse snitch's evidence was found to be a lie. It'll also focus on the fact Höglund's body was found 70 kilometres away from where the Crown believed it was. Open Justice reporter Ethan Griffiths has spoken to Tamahere, who's opting not to attend in person.
He lives quite a quiet, peaceful and uneventful life now in West Auckland with his wife. He recently turned 70. He mows lawns and cleans at a local marae.
Early childhood centres are dealing with more learning and behavioural challenges, including COVID babies. The Educational Institute says the increase has meant waiting lists for specialist support are far too long. Clinical psychologist Dougal Sutherland told Tim Dow we could now be seeing the impacts of lockdown flowing through.
Because there was a group of kids away from each other and away from early childhood centres during lockdown, that it's meant that either there's been some delays in some aspects of their development or they've been sort of overlooked and missed.
The country's Black Friday spending could be keeping some retail businesses afloat. Worldline NZ's data shows consumers spent $126 million on Friday and Saturday, with $346 million forked out across the whole week. That's down 3.9% on the same 7-day period last year. Retail NZ Chief Executive Carolyn Young says Black Friday kicks off the critical fourth quarter for retailers.
A lot of businesses are telling us that they're right on that knife edge around whether they'll be able to survive into next year or not, and it's going to depend on strong sales over this next quarter and the next 4 weeks.
In sport, supercars great Greg Murphy has saluted NASCAR-bound driver Shane van Gisbergen, saying the three-time champion had nothing left to prove in the format. Carolina Panthers owner David Tepper has sacked coach Frank Reich after the NFL lost to the Tennessee Titans in Nashville, meaning he's the first mentor since the 1970 merger to be fired in back-to-back seasons. Finally, the Adelaide Oval scoreboard has introduced gender-neutral terminology, replacing the word batsmen with batting to align with cricket's laws. I'm Neva Reddy-Manu. That's your latest news fix. We'll be back with the next update at midday from the Newstalk ZB newsroom.